Yeah, so what I might do is cut them at 2 inches from there,
Yeah.
these ones, and put another eye on them, and then get some 1.5 by, yeah, these are 8mm, so if I get 1.5 by 1/4 and put them in there, that'll get rid of that problem.
Oh, well, that's a good solution.
So a smaller spring like that'll be made out of slightly thinner material than these buggers, but because they're smaller in diameter too, they might have about an equal pull, and that would do it, and that would get these bumps down out of the road.
Had you ever thought about shortening that?
No.
Because that would get the bumps out of it, and then just return these so that they're nice and tight. Get a whole centimetre out of those right up there. Because that's the other thing, turning those around further, because that's where the stretches come there, as that's unfurled over the time, and at the back. So that could have been tightened up there and tightened up at the back. That'll give you a whole centimetre extra out of the length of the spring, or 100 millimetres, or half an inch. Because to me, to stick with the original 1937 springs and these things here, put them on the clothesline.
Yeah, I'm going to town tomorrow, so I might go in the Halters and see what they got in the way of smaller springs. Yeah, and all I've got to do then is just get the pliers and make the little hooks on the 6 of them.
Right.
Might get away with that.
Okay, you've solved it.
Yeah, what a bugger, eh? Never mind.
Okay, that's all good. Oh, well, that concludes our video for the day.
Say again?
That concludes our video for the day.
Yeah. A real problem job, alright. Jesus. Yeah, fortunately these end ones can stay as they are. Just replace the end of that one. And this one's fitting in.
Yeah.
But that one isn't. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, do it that way.
But I still feel that the stretch has come over the years from there. Twirl them around. You can sort of see where it's bent. And then that end there the same, and that would have tightened up that, and it would have not have gone to the whole process. The other one is, I think this bar here is bent. You can see it. So if you'd bent that bar out this way, that would have created the distance and tightened the springs up. So this bar has actually bent in with all the bouncing around. So bending that bar back again that far would have then tightened all of these springs. Because technically, I think going with the original springs and see if you can get a refund for these would be the cheapest and the more practical version. Because you think that does look bent, doesn't it? It's bent in.
Yeah, it gives you that impression, alright, yeah.
And all it requires is put that in the vise and then bend that out and then respring it with these. Twist those in. You'll have such a bouncy seat, Don, you'll be half the ground will be off the ground and half the ground your bum will be on the seat. Because sticking with the original and making them functional is what a classic bike's about. Otherwise you got a 2015 Harley spring set there.
What a bloke. Oh well.
But then you could just cover that and try it, and you might find it's perfect like that. As you say, the family jewels are in this area, and the business, hey, the business,
Yeah, you're right.
the business house is down this area, and you might find that this bit is comfortable.
Got it. Yeah, see, bending this thing, and they got to line up with the springs. So I don't know whether that would have worked out or not, but
Well, I would suggest that that gets bent down as well. So that's bent and that's bent, and those two things are gradually over time. Could you think of you hit a big bump, there's a lot of pressure on there pulling it in, you know?
Yep.
It's work hardened. But that definitely doesn't look straight. Where's your ruler?
That's not a ruler. She lives in England. It's a rule.
A rule.
That's it. Yeah, you're right, actually. It's gone in a bit, all right.
So if that comes out, then that one then has to also come down. Because what you want to do is you want to have an angle on this like that. So when you tighten the bolt up, it forces that back out. So not only do you bend that back out, but you create a tension in this that then when it tightens the bolt, so you got two. Because if you bend this and you leave that straight, that'll want to pull back in because that's not supported by that. But if both of them are working in that direction and that direction, then these old springs, and you mightn't even need to tighten these. That looks rounded, and that one at the other end looks okay. So I'll put the ruler back on the seat, her throne. The ruler's on her throne, or is this a rule? Oh, I have a question for you. An 8mm socket with 12 points in it. They don't have any at holsters. They don't have any at Repcos. Robin doesn't have one. I haven't got one at home, but I've got 5 8mm, but they're not, it's, you know, the hex flat, it's about 12 points. So I've got engine bolts to get out of my CBR 250R, and it requires an 8mm bolt, an 8mm socket. Anyway, we won't worry about it.
But with 12 points in it,
Yes.
yeah, I'll see what it is. I'll just grab an 8mm socket and have a look at it.
Uh-huh. Don, don't worry about it. But come back here. I wanted to show you where I think the seat's lost its tension. And it's by the rivet.
God, they're just by hexagonal.
Yeah, they're just hex.
Bloody hell.
Don, here's where the... Look at this here.
Real rubbish, this thing.
Look at this, Don. In here.
Looking at this.
Yeah, no. Here, in here, Don, that's where I think you've lost your tension.
That's no good.
You have a look. You stand there. You stand there.
Why?
And have a look at that. That's where you've lost your tension. It's worn here. It's quite interesting. Have a look at this.
Yeah.
Stand, if you have to look this way.
Why?
To see where the wear is. Because that's moved that way. That's moved from there to there. And you can see it's worn the steel out.
Mm.
See, look there. See how that's bulging out the side there? That used to be flat when it was made, and it's worn on the inside there, and that's been chafing like that, and as it chafes, it reduces the tension in the spring.
Yep.
So, a simple seat. We are postulating on the posterior, Don.
Well, by bending that back, how, using a motorbike, isn't it going to go forward again? Isn't it going to go back to what it is now? Well, what do you reckon?
Don, it's been 80 years in the making, and you're going to ride...
How many?
80 years. This was in 1937.
No, it's in 1938.
Okay, 1938. So 2 more plus 5, that's 7 years. That's 77 years it's been doing that, and when it comes back, by the time you get to Napier, I don't think it would have reverted, because I don't think these are bent. They wouldn't bend. That steel's too strong. What's happened is it's been moving on that pin, and it's worn its way into the edge there, and that's where the problem has come. So you can see. And this one's got a little bit of it as well. So that's what I think.